Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Cowgirl Basketball Roundup with Jim Littell. I'm your host, Casey Kendrick, and Coach, we are well into the season, and we're going to try to get people up to date as we welcome them to our first installment of the show. But boy, what a fun and quick start to the season we've had.
It's been a great start, Casey. We have an exciting group that enjoys playing together. They have a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and I think our fans have really enjoyed the Cowgirls.
So many new faces that have been big contributors to this team, Coach, but you guys started off with a 5-0 start, went down to Cancun. That 5-0 start included a win against South Dakota in Cancun, but then you took on the likes of a Tennessee, and it was one of those measuring stick matches, and what we found out is you guys measured up pretty well.
You know, we got off to a rough start in the first quarter and fell behind 24-10, but virtually outplayed Tennessee after that, and they remain undefeated right now. So it was a good game to show our players that we could play with a lot of quality teams.
Tennessee, one more game, then at Mississippi State, the number 3 team in the country, come back home, take on a top-ranked UCLA team. You played Mississippi State within 3 down there. Their great run against UConn last year, within 3 in Starkville. You come home, you beat UCLA. That 4-game stretch right there, that's about as tough as it's ever gotten.
It really was. South Dakota was a very good team as well, and to play 3 teams that would have been in the top 10, I think it did a great job of preparing our kids for Big 12 play.
So you go from there with another 5-game win streak, okay? You've had this incredible non-conference. You come out of it very, very well. You get to Kansas State, and then you know how tough Kansas State is. You know what they're capable of, and you guys really did a fantastic job of holding them at bay. 16-point halftime lead, and then got the good win.
Well, we didn't come out with the fire we needed in the second half and made it into a game. It turned into a 4-point ball game, but our kids made plays down the stretch, and to beat a K-State team who went to the NCAA tournament last year and are very well coached, it was a quality win.
Got to 1-0, and that gets you caught up to where we've got our highlights today. We've got Texas coming up. We're going to talk about Bedlam round 1. But while we've got just a second here, Coach, let's talk about a couple of the youngsters. Lauren Goodwin is a kid that comes in here as a graduate senior, and she really has just changed the program.
Well, she's a very dynamic personality player, very experienced. She's a grinded-out player and loves to compete, and as we've seen, she's one of those players that loves to play on the big stage.
And Braxton Miller, the freshman, has played extremely well as well. We'll talk about that and more coming up. But let's take a time out. When we come back, we'll head to the Drum, the Frank Irwin Center in Austin, Texas. Highlights from that one coming up next. The Cowgirl Basketball Roundup with Jim Littell is brought to you by Bud Light, proud friends of Oklahoma State Athletics, famous among friends. By the visitstillwater.org, shop, dine, and stay partners. Be sure to shop, dine, and stay in America's friendliest college town. By Mercy Health, your life is our life's work. And by OG&E, power at the speed of life. Welcome back. Well, Coach, we talked about where you guys had gotten to. Obviously, you got the quick win on the road against Texas Tech. Then you take on Kansas State, get to 2-0. Now it's headed down to the Irwin Center, another top 10 team already on your slate. And we knew this was going to be a heck of a challenge.
Texas is really, really good. They've got a lot of All-Americans on their team, probably the deepest team in the country. LaShawn Higgs is maybe the most improved player in the country. They got Brooke McCarty, Ariel Atkins, and it's a team that is a potential Final Four team.
Let's look at the highlights of this one and see what happened. Again, the Drum is, as it's affectionately known, is a great place to go play. And, Coach, you guys came out, and you knew you couldn't get in foul trouble. You didn't. You knew you had to battle early, and you did. You led for nearly 33 minutes in this ball game.
We got off to a great start, and it was a game that went back and forth, and we hit some big shots and played really good on the defensive end. I think they wore us down a little bit. They didn't shoot a free throw till about 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, so our group did a really nice job of keeping them off the free throw line and competing.
place where this Texas team will beat you a lot, and that's a fantastic job by Gentry Holt drawing the charge, is they will beat you on the boards. They only beat you by 2 in this one. You really hung tough in this game.
You know, a positive, Casey, was that they only got 7 offensive boards, and they're very long and athletic and attack the glass. So I was proud of our group for blocking them out and keeping them off the backboard.
In fact, you guys had more second chance points than they did. And Coach, we talked about young Lauren Goodwin. We talked about that young lady Braxton Miller. She is special, but there's a big kid in the middle who's an All-American type kid, all Big 12 type kid in Kaylee Jensen. And I think some people forgot about her until we got into conference season.
Well, she's really turned it on in Big 12 play, Casey, and we've known it's always been there with her leading the conference in scoring, rebounding, and double-doubles last year. But, you know, it took a time for her to figure out how to play with the guards that we had, and for the guards to figure out that we need to get her the basketball too. So it was a growing process with the newcomers.
For the first time in 2 games, you guys hit a 3 with Kaylee Jensen to start the second half. You opened up a 4-point lead there. And, Coach, the thing that you guys have been able to do, and that's, again, in large part because of Lauren Goodwin, you dribble penetration, you're getting a lot of shots around the rim.
We are. We have some people who can put the ball on the floor and create. You see Ari there and a run out, but Ari's played extremely well for us as well. And there's a jumper by Braxton who can score off the dribble, and then you see a 3 there too. She's got a lot of different facets to her game.
Yeah, she could score on all 3 levels, Coach. And again, just a freshman, doesn't play like a freshman. Had a career high 23 points in this one.
You know, she stepped up and played well against Tennessee. She was really huge against UCLA as well. And she appears to be another young player that loves to play in big games.
And, you know, you guys are seeing the floor well. And what you see is when the ball's on the perimeter, they've got to close out. And when they close out, they've got to give Kaylee room to operate. And when Kaylee's playing one-on-one, they're afraid to collapse because you're going to kick it back out. This team has come together and is now, you've got that complete package working for you.
No question. There's a lot more balance. There's a lot more threat from the perimeter. And you see a nice backdoor cut there. Just the opportunity for more people to score and hold the defense accountable.
Again, late in the ball game, you need a bucket. That's a fantastic effort by Braxton Miller. Now, they were able to get a couple of buckets, a couple of stops, and got to the free throw line more times than you did down the stretch, Coach. And that's really where this game kind of got turned around, is in just the last couple of minutes.
Well, it was a case that we didn't play poorly at the end. We just missed some shots. We had the opportunity to take it home and miss some open shots. And if you're going to beat 7th-ranked team in the country on the road, you got to take advantage of every open opportunity, and the ball didn't go in.
Karen Aston said in post-game, because her post-game is over the PA during their post-game interviews, and she said this team in Oklahoma State is fantastic. I've been telling you guys all week long, they're fantastic. So you had her attention going in, and she said very, very sternly, this team's going to win a lot of basketball games, referring to Oklahoma State.
I hope she's right.
We do as well. She was right for Bedlam round 1. We've got the highlights from that one as the Cowgirls able to beat their in-state rivals. We'll talk about that one and look at it coming up as we continue right after this. Coach Littell has said for a while now that the next game is the most important, but when the next game is Bedlam, it means more. And, Coach, you've been very open about that. Bedlam means something to the fans, community, the players. It is. It's just, especially when it's competitive, and you guys have made it competitive again, it's a big game.
It is a big game, Casey. And, you know, a lot of times you get coach speak that it's 1 of 18, it's the next game on the schedule. Why have rivalries? Why have somebody that you really want to beat and not emphasize the game? So it's important to our players. It's important to our coaches. It's definitely important to our fan base. So Bedlam is a special opportunity for every sport at Oklahoma State.
Cowgirls have now won 5 out of 7 inside Gallagher-Iba Arena. Let's look at the highlights in this one as the Cowgirls won this thing going away. And, Coach, you knew, again, foul trouble was going to be big. For you or for them, you came out fired up early, and foul trouble was a bigger problem for them, certainly inside, early in this contest.
It was early, and you see Maria Castro get us off to a great start, and they're always going to attack the basket. They're very good off the dribble, and you need to make sure that you don't foul and send them to the free throw line.
Yeah, Castro in her first start as an Oklahoma State Cowgirl was big, played 36 minutes in this one. And again, Coach, it's just the stutter step, the acceleration, deceleration. That young lady just knows how to get to the rim.
She knows how to play, and she's a greatly conditioned athlete that has a high motor and can play 40 minutes, and that's a rarity in today's game.
Played 40 minutes in this contest. Nice open jumper right there. 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. The other side of her game, Coach, is she really makes everyone else better for a lot of reasons, but the fact that she sees the floor. And Castro in this one showed us some good athleticism.
Maria's got a little finesse to her game at times and deep range, and she was excited to have the opportunity to start and play and came up big for us.
That's a fantastic feed, high-low post passing right there, and you guys had a 14-point lead. Going into the locker room, Coach, you held them to 4 points in the second quarter, and this is a high-potent offense.
You know, between the second quarter and start of the third quarter, we went on a 23-0 run that was the difference in the ball game, and Mandy did a really nice job there of getting in a high-low situation after they switched, and that was the difference in the ball game, the run in the second quarter and the start of the third quarter.
Stopping on a dime, turning, and what a play right there by Castro. Stop, turn, kick it in, and that's a tough pass, tough catch, and a tough play.
It was a great play.
No doubt it was. And, Coach, in this game, again, defense, terrific effort right there by Lauren Goodwin getting back. You shot 49% from the field, 40% beyond the arc, hitting 8 3-pointers, and were fantastic from the free throw line at 83%.
You know, those are all good numbers that we take every given night, and I think our shot selection was pretty good, and to score that many points, it gives you an opportunity to win. We definitely got to get better on the defensive end. It was a great offensive game, and it was one that'll drive coaches crazy, but it must have been a lot of fun for the fans to watch with that many points. I likened it to Big 12 football. It was a shootout.
You know, and interestingly enough, Coach, we talk about the benches getting shorter when you get in tough games. I think there was, 178 points scored in this game, 175 by the starters of these two teams.
You know, we want to and need to and will play our bench more, but sometimes the game comes down to matchups, and there were some specific matchups that we felt like we needed to keep people on the floor, and with Ari out this game, it definitely created some matchup problems.
Largest lead for the Cowgirls, and that's a fantastic move by Kaylee putting it on the deck and getting from one block to the other. But, you know, Coach, you guys only had 12 points in transition. They were really sending everybody back and yet scored 96. We've talked about it, but your team is extremely offensive-minded, and in large part because you can hit so many good mid-range jumpers.
Well, Braxton, every time they made a run, she made a nice break to the soft spot in the zone and hit big shots. But I think it's a combination of players that are offensive-minded, plus they share the basketball and find the open person.
Saw the floor well here, got it to Kaylee Jensen, and big bucket right there. Coach, they kept making little mini runs, but you guys continued to answer throughout the entire ball game.
Yeah, our girls really answered, and every time it was cut to 11, Low or Kaylee would do a good job. We called a timeout late to make sure we got the ball to Kaylee, and our group did a good job of following the game plan.
You know, you guys run so much, it's almost hard to bring them back, slow them down a little bit, but you guys did a great job in this and got the win, the first win against Oklahoma. Got more to talk about. What's coming up next for the Cowgirls? We've got that and more, so don't go away. We'll be back to wrap up the show. Come on.
A lot of people expected me to go someplace in Ohio, like Ohio State or something like that, but venturing off and going all the way to Oklahoma just to meet new people is something I really was interested in. Well, part of it is a lot of people in Ohio either go to Ohio State, Miami University, Kentucky, like places like that. It's all really close to home, and I feel like if I went to some place like that, I'd end up being stuck with the same people that I always grew up with and knew. So I really just wanted to like venture off and meet all new people and kind of like be even like start being more independent and things like that, and just start my own kind of life in my career.
Well, I like that kid. She is tough as nails. She is a competitor. That's a big shot she just knocked down.
I really like the coaching staff, and like when I came on my visit, the team was like really fun, and we had a lot of fun together. And then obviously the facilities are really nice. It just seems like a really good place for me to be and a really good fit. I feel like I've worked really hard to get to this point, and I've talked to I have a lot of friends that have gone to this level and things like that, so I knew exactly what to expect. I knew it was going to take, everything out of me, but at the same time, I knew I'd worked really hard for it, so I'd be able to do it if I just kept working hard.
Braxton Miller, how about a big bomb, baby, right through the bottom of the net for the freshman?
That was crazy. I didn't expect that. But see, when I came, I didn't even know. I never even knew what Bedlam was. Like, I thought maybe Bedlam was where OU was, like the city. So, and that's why you called it Bedlam. Like, I had no clue what that was. And I didn't realize how much that meant to everyone. But it was kind of similar because obviously Ohio State and Michigan, that's a big thing. So I could understand like the level of competition and how much it really means to everyone in Oklahoma. So it was cool. It was really nice.
We need to take another timeout. When we come back, what's next for the Cowgirls? They've got a midweek bye. They get ready for Kansas State. We'll preview that with Coach Littell after this. Well, Coach, I don't know that I like the schedule for one reason, and that is that you've got repeat offenders coming up so quickly. We turn around and get ready for Kansas State a second time. Oklahoma is coming up real quickly, and both of those on the road. Little odd how the schedule's set up for you.
They've gone to that the last couple years, and I'm not sure I like it. Turn around and playing somebody that quickly again. I think that sometimes favors the team that lost because you can make a lot of corrections in a short period of time on it, but you can't control what the Big 12 does as far as schedule, so you got to play them as they show up.
You go to Manhattan, Kansas this weekend, come back the following Wednesday against West Virginia. Coach, chance to talk about the crowds. Fantastic against UCLA, unbelievable against Oklahoma. They have already been a difference maker, and we just need to keep building that crowd.
Well, we always say bring a friend, and I think this is an entertaining team that our fans will enjoy watching throughout the year, and they're excited about Cowgirl basketball, so let's continue to grow the crowd, and hopefully our kids will feed off of that. I know they do, and it's just been a lot of fun in the gym against the likes of UCLA and Oklahoma.
Coach, final thought as we move forward. Again, our first installment of the year, and we've talked about these young kids, some of the newcomers that are here. Right now, what we're seeing from your kids is a resilience and a toughness that is fun to follow. It is fun to watch, and it's very easy to get behind this team right now because there's just a toughness about your team.
There's a special bond between our fans and our players as well, and there is a toughness. I'd like for us to be better defensively, but I'm very aware as fast as we play, we're going to afford other teams opportunity to have more chances to score. So, it's going to be some high-scoring games and some exciting basketball.
Looking forward to following this team all year long. Coach, best of luck. Appreciate the time as always.
Thanks, Casey.
Hey, that's going to do it for us. For Coach Jim Littell, I'm Casey Kendrick. Hopefully you will join us right back here next time. We'll see you then for the Cowgirl Basketball Roundup with Coach Jim Littell. The Cowgirl Basketball Roundup with Jim Littell is brought to you by Bud Light, proud friends of Oklahoma State Athletics, famous among friends. By the visitstillwater.org, Shop, Dine, and Stay partners. Be sure to shop, dine, and stay in America's friendliest college town. By Mercy Health, your life is our life's work. And by OG&E, power at the speed of life.